Good morning. Today we're at Beamish for the 1950s town opening, and I'm sorry if there's any shaky footage because this is something I've waited for about 2 years. I made sure the big Sony camera was charged up. I checked last night before I went to bed to make sure it was charged by turning it on, and I forgot to switch it off. So the battery's flat. I've got all the way to Beamish and I'm having to use my mobile phone to video. So please excuse the footage. Anywho, I will try my best. It may shake a little bit. Yeah. But anywho, the 1950s, the cinema, the shops is all opening today at Beamish. Whoop whoop, chicken soup. You know something, I've just watched that footage back just to check, because when I'm looking at the screen of the iPhone, it is shaking like a Polaroid picture. Anywho, when I watch it back, it's very steady. Didn't realise there was some stabilisation going on, but apparently there is. All good. Anywho, let's walk down to the 1950s. So normally to go to the 1950s cinema, we would go that way towards the old town and ignore this part of the 50s area. But today, we're going to have a walk through this way. Why? Because all the construction fencing is down. We can now walk through there and straight onto the street. Wow. So as a point of reference, this is the 1950s Welfare Hall, which was the first part of the 1950s to open. That is the Bowling Pavilion. And then you head up the 1950s Housing Street. And if you remember, there was construction walls here. Well, look at that. You can go straight onto the street, which you used to have to walk around to get to. Now, it's all one cohesive area. Sorry for any wind noise. I don't have a wind muff. I am trying my best to shield the mic of the phone. But anywho, this is a first for me. I have never walked through this way before, because like I say, there used to be construction walls. So there is a 1950s parade at 10:30. And then the official opening is 11 a.m. But how good does this look? Well, just been thrown out the 1950 street. Apparently, I wasn't supposed to be there yet. And there was a few of us there. They forgot to block it off at the welfare end. Anywho, I'm going to walk around the events field. Apparently there is a parade, like I said earlier, but I can join the parade. So yeah, I'm going to join the parade, walk down at 10:30 for the grand opening of the 1950s cinema and shops. Here's a question. If I kind of sneaked into the back door of the 1950s new part of the town before anybody else, does that mean I was the first member of the public to? I'll take that.
ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it once more for the Riot All-Stars Jazz Band and the Riot Miners Banner for leading this morning's parade. All right, who likes toys? Yeah. Who likes records? Yeah. Who likes learning about sciencey things? Yeah. Who likes all the latest electrical gadgets? And who likes going to the pictures? You've come to the right place. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming along to this very special occasion today. It's not long now until these glorious buildings behind me will officially open, but not before I have the pleasure of welcoming our special guests. We're here to tell you all about the wonderful achievement I stand in front of. To begin, please give a warm welcome to the Chief Executive Officer here at Beamish, Rhiannon Hiles.
I should really dance up to the podium, shouldn't I? That would be unusual. But I won't, don't worry. So this is absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to take this in for a moment. Just going to look round. Wow, can you all give me a wave? Woo! That's brilliant. And at the back, waving at the back. Yay! I can see so many people that I know, that I've met during this project. It's absolutely amazing to stand here this morning. And we've got some wonderful guests as well who are going to speak and talk about what it's been like and also the future. Because Beamish is about the future. It's about the past, but we're also about the future. We're always doing new things, and we've worked with lots of community, lots of children. We've had quite a reach across the region during the Remaking Beamish project, which has been the biggest project in the museum's history. So to stand here today, a bit emotional, got a bit of a wobble in my voice, you can hear it. So when we first started thinking about what we would do for Remaking Beamish, we thought we need something really big. And we thought about what that could be. And what better than this cinema? So Gary Heppel is in front of me with his mum, Ethel. So this is your cinema, it's Riot Community Cinema. And it's all those people who had visited here, met here, had their first dates here. So many people have told us that this is where they first met. Bill, who's in front of me at the moment, says it's his palace of dreams. I think you live here, Bill, don't you? He's never away now. So this has been absolutely amazing. The best project you could ever wish for, leading this phenomenal museum. And I'm very, very proud, as you can tell in my voice. And there's amazing people behind the scenes, Helen Barker and her team, Paul Marin, Brims, the architect space, I thought I can say this, Thornton Firkin, Jeff heading that up for us, and so many others. National Lottery Heritage Fund, who are our biggest supporters. The Reese Foundation, if you're here, thank you so much. We've got a brilliant STEM space. I can see a hand going up somewhere, someone must be from Reese. Just above the shops here, it's a fantastic learning space which has been funded through the Reese Foundation, as well as the fantastic shop which is down below there as well. And a milk bar. Special requests, banana milk. I've been told it is there. Can we have a bit of an applause for a banana milk? Yay! Who doesn't love banana milk? Love it. So you don't need to hear from me anymore because we've got some other phenomenal people who are going to speak, but it's my pleasure to see you here today, and I'm absolutely over the moon. So thank you.
Thank you, Rhiannon. Of course, an integral part of creating such a spectacle like the one you see before you is the all-important financial support. Here to say a few words from the National Lottery Heritage Fund, our major funder for the Remaking Beamish project, is the Head of Investment for England North, Ivor Crowther.
Thank you everyone, it's fantastic to be here this morning. I've travelled a long distance, I live about 2.5 miles down the road. The concept for the 1950s era started about 10 years ago when we first started our conversations with Beamish and the team. And we were convinced that by introducing this 1950s era to Beamish Museum, it would not only benefit the museum but also its visitors as well. This is why the National Lottery Heritage Fund invested over £11 million into this project. And I think there's people to thank for this, not only the staff at Beamish, but the friends and also the volunteers that have spent thousands of hours, believe me, researching and finding all of the information about these buildings to replicate some of them for your enjoyment. I think they deserve a round of applause. Beamish holds a special place in local people's hearts, but also it's special to people nationally and internationally as well. We know for a fact that people enjoy the colliery village, they enjoy the town. I'm sure they will enjoy the 1950s building. But whether it's the sweet shop you enjoy or getting your fish and chip, doesn't matter really, does it? It's Beamish, and the special thing about it is the people and the staff here that make that experience so special. At the Heritage Fund, we believe that the power of heritage ignites imaginations and further pride in community by connecting people with their local past. Something that Beamish does so well. So without further ado, I'd just like to congratulate the staff, the volunteers, also the friends that have all contributed to what this wonderful project is. And a big thank you also to the National Rugby players who provided the money. Thank you.
Information about these wonderful buildings that await us, and indeed an answer to a question that's been posed to me many times here at Beamish. How in the world did you acquire a cinema? Someone who can help answer that is the donor of the Grand Cinema, Gary Heppel.
To lower this, I'm a bit short in the leg. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'd like to thank you all for supporting the Garage on the Green for the last 38 years. If it hadn't been for buying the garage when I was 24 years old and coming into Riot to enjoy your fabulous community, we would never have raised the money to be able to buy this and a bit behind you. We bought it to store our old cars in, and it was left to fall into a semi-derelict condition. So I'm quite humbled today to be standing in front of you to present what Beamish have done, which brings some part of Riot's history back to life for your kids, for my kids, for our grandkids, and for the future. And I'm honest to God humbled. I just hope Keir Starmer's watching so he can do a job like this on our planet. Thank you all very much.
Despite their aesthetic magnificence, these buildings would be mere shells without the constant valuable input and investment from pertaining members of the community. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the former trainee projectionist of the Grand Cinema in the 1950s, and a gentleman who has given hours of his time to help Beamish bring the cinema back to life. Bill Mather.
I'm only 5'2". Anyway, it's a great pleasure to be here this morning, ladies and gentlemen. And it's a lovely atmosphere, a lovely day. And I'm so proud to have been a help to the team. We've worked, I didn't realise it, but we've worked about almost 10 years in sorting the colours, the seating and everything. And it all came from various meetings with the team, and out of this little brain going back to 1950. I'm going to very quickly just say it's around about 1948, when I was 8 years old. I could see the band just down the street, and the chief projectionist, Jack Thompson, who had been already there for about 45 years, he used to let me hold the stills while he was changing them from the house. When I got to the age of 10, down here, I used to go down on a Saturday morning, and he used to let me into the projection room. When it was a case of wanting to see the projectors running, he said to me, "You've got to, well, how old are you now?" I said, "Well, I'm 10 this month." So he said, "Well, there's only one problem, son." He always called me son. He said, if you come out the projection room in short trousers, which I had, we could be in serious trouble with the authorities. Do you think your mum can get you a pair of long trousers? So anyway, it took about a week and my mum sorted them out for me. And the first film that was allowed on a Friday evening it was to see was the Johnson story. And it was an absolute wizard to see the projectors, the colour on the screen, etc. And from then on, he taught me an awful lot. To the age of 15 when I officially left school. And he also taught me about stripping the projectors down. He also taught me about cleaning the contacts on the rectifiers, etc. So I owe an awful lot to Jack, and I've always remembered him because following on from there, I went into the big world of cinema down in Sunderland, the Theatre Royal, and worked my way upwards into the Princess at Seaham Harbour. And then from there on, I went into management. And all in all, I then went on to buy my own cinemas. So for the past 53 years, plus 10 years, so about over 60 years of cinema experience. And I've enjoyed every minute of it. And when bouncing back to the brand, I've absolutely been enthralled with helping the team here at Beamish to bring what I've always called it, and I think you've got it in the publicity, it's my palace of dreams, because that's what the fruition of it. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be invited today. And once you get in this beautiful little palace of dreams, I'm sure you'll all agree with me, and a lot of you who knew the cinema as youngsters, etc., and also the youngsters will see what a proper cinema is. Not like these multiplexes with the screens stuck up, no footlights, nothing like that. And it gives me great pleasure to officially open the cinema. And thank you for your time, and happy cinema going, because this place is going to last about 100 years. So they needn't worry, because I'll be watching from up there. Okay, and thank you for your time.
As we gaze a little further down the street, just past the milk bar, we find a mid-20th century Aladdin's cave of electrical appliances. To a consumer in the 1950s, the future had a plug on it. On purchasing a brand new baby Belling, one could be forgiven for reading its operating instructions and wishing for more knowledge about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But fortunately, here at Beamish, we have that covered, thanks to the generous support of the Reese Foundation, who fund our STEM learning program and brand new STEM learning space. To inspire the scientists, engineers, and mathematicians of the future. Now, from spinning tops to skipping ropes, dolls' prams to train sets, our next building not only evokes some of our earliest personal memories, but perhaps gives us a secret longing that we could do it all over again. Here to talk about the treasure trove of toys that you see at the end of the street is the son of and former owner of the original Roma Parish toy shop in Middlesbrough, Brian Parish.
Hello everybody. First of all, I would like to thank all the people of Middlesbrough who voted for us. A big thank you to the rest of the North East who shopped with us. I would also like to thank all of Beamish, all of the people of Beamish who made this happen, and also national lotteries for the country. In 1933, my father Rover resigned from the family department store in Newcastle to make his own way He set off walking from Newcastle with his dog in the winter, where he settled and bought his first job at 179 in Bob Road, setting up fireside lending lines, lending books out at 6 books a time. He then expanded into newspapers and cigarettes. While living above the shop, he met my mother Jo, the sergeant from. My father was a very fit person. My father was a very fit person, was known in the military, always wearing a short sleeve shirt, summer and winter, even in the freezing cold. After the war, he moved to 131 and then bought 133 turning 131 into a sweet shop. He also bought houses behind the shop with a view to future expansion. There weren't many toys after the war compared to today. The main companies were Priory, Hornby, Airfix, Chad Valley, some Mutual even, Waddington's, Monopoly. Prior to the war, most toys came from Germany.
Thank you, Brian. And so I bring you back to Beamish as I present you to the chair of the Board of Trustees here at the museum, Chris Loffred.
Thank you so much for coming. Thanks to all the speakers. It moves you just to hear the stories that you're saying and the connections that you've got here. My job was to say some thank yous. Most of them have been said, but I want to pick out one thank you particularly, and that's the National Heritage Lottery Fund. They're a big donor. You put some big numbers there in the millions that they've given to Beamish, but they're not just a donor, they're a partner. We worked together through COVID before my time, but all the challenges that COVID brought, all the procurement issues, all of the lockdown issues, we got there in the end, and we wouldn't have been able to do that if you hadn't been the partner that you are. And thanks to the Reese Foundation, we've heard that too. I also want to add an additional thank you to Helen Barker. Give us a wave, Helen, please. Thank you. When I first heard about the 1950s, I thought, what on earth are they doing that for? I don't understand it at all. And now it makes complete sense. But I also thought this is going to be great working with Helen. You know, she's going to get find out loads of stories and the rest of it. And all I got briefed on continually was bats, bat surveys, bees, problems with pile driving. There was waterlogged potatoes and the price of chips. I don't know what else we had, but we had all manner of things that she's worked through to make this project actually happen. So again, a massive round of applause to I also don't want to be a downer on it, but I just wanted to repeat what I said when we opened the semi-detached houses over there. We're here to talk about the brilliant bits of our past and our history. The 1950s saw the biggest emancipation from poverty that this region's ever seen. Many of you will remember it. I've just heard about it, but it was a dramatic sea change that the region really needed. But we tell all the stories of the past of Beamish, and we tell them safely. So it's actually really important that we remember the 1950s weren't, as we've just heard, a wonderland for everybody. We still had segregation in the USA. We've had LGBT rights issues. Alan Turing killed himself during that period. And if you're a woman in the workspace, you were fighting enormous battles and you didn't have the opportunities that you deserved. So as well as talking about the nostalgia and the brilliant things that we've got here at Beamish, we're also going to look back and talk about some of those issues so that we can be absolutely clear that this museum now is a place for absolutely everyone. So the next thanks I want to actually say to Rhiannon, our brilliant chief exec. You heard the emotion in her voice. She gives her absolute heart and soul and all to make this happen. It wouldn't have happened without her. And we've been talking an awful lot about the future of this museum, not just the past, the future, as Rhiannon said. But my business partner always talks about whether you should stay close to the shore where it's all crowded but safe, or whether you should go out into the open water and go on adventures. And I think Rhiannon gets it absolutely right in balancing all the things that we need to keep dear to us that we know Beamish for so well, but looking out into what we can do and what we can contribute even more to this region. So you'll see our future strategy looking at issues of equality, diversity, inclusion, poverty, dementia, loneliness, all the things that our region that we've seen this week still has an awful lot of work to do on, and it's spoken up. So you'll see us working in those places. You won't lose the bits of Beamish that you know and love, but you'll see us pushing forward. So please give me an enormous cheer and thank you to our brilliant weekend day.
So, yes indeed, we are about to open these buildings. All that remains is to pull our ceremonial ribbon. I'd like to invite our distinguished guests to please take their positions by the ribbon. And you, dear audience, you have a job to do. Yes, you didn't think you were going to get away with this, did you? We need you to join in the countdown when we begin. So, clear your throat, swallow your cinder toffee, and get ready. As soon as I get the nod, we'll have the countdown. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone. Your buildings are now open.
Yeah, you're outside at Q. You alright? Can't do what? I think we're all doing our own stuff now. So go to the left, there's a lift on the left. Come on then.
Jesus, why are you moving when you want to? You're naughty.
How fantastic is this?
Well, no, you say sit down. I'll take it. Sit next to Brenda. No, you sit next to Brenda.
So that's why you have two projectors. So one is playing here while the other one is being set up. A good projectionist, changing from one to the other. So if you've ever noticed like a black dot. Yeah.
How amazing is it in there? Obviously it's very, very busy because it had only been open 2 minutes when we got in. Anywho, we'll come back when it's a little bit quieter for a proper look around. We're going to have a look at the shops now. That's great. And that's the new milk bar. Get your milkshakes, waters, juices. But yeah, we'll come back for that one, I think. Come back on a quieter day. Well, we've got a band playing now. And we're going to have a look in a Reese Limited.
I'll just send you back that way, madam. We've got a one-way system.
Oh, right.
Now that's a fridge. Wow.
And the bed warmer is in a pound.
It's the size of that.
A bed warmer like that.
And through the back, it looks like we have a repair shop.
We can, but mine's unfortunately out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give me a repair.
Then we'll go out of there and then we'll head around the corner to the toy shop. So this is the 1950s toy shop. And you can buy 1950s style toys in here. So all of these type of things are actually for sale. Airfix models, etc. Skipping ropes. Some strange man back there, keep away from him. So obviously the things that's in the cabinets, they are not for sale, they are just museum pieces. These are original 1950s toys, but the stuff that's on the shelves is actually for sale. All things like this, so basically the stuff you can touch and pick up are all for sale. And they are the 1950s style. Dolls Hospital, where they get fixed.
makes this noise? Because the kids...
So there you have it. The 1950s town is fully open. So no more 1950s construction updates from me, unfortunately. Obviously, it's very, very busy. It is literally just opened. So what I'm going to do is come back on a quieter day, maybe with Emma. We're going to try the food there. So go to the milk bar, possibly some fish and chips. And then we'll also go back up to the Georgian area where I haven't been back to since opening, and try some of the food in the Drovers Tavern.
Some health problems and like she wants.
Well, I think we should.
Thanks. TerryTracker. What? I like that way you can change the seat back to flat silver.
Yeah.
So there you go, that is our morning at Beamish done, to document the opening of the 1950s cinema, the milk bar, the toy shop and the electrical shop. All things I've been waiting a long time to open, and they were worth it. Anywho, I will come back when it's a bit quieter and we'll try a few things out, video more things, try some food, try some drinks and all that good stuff. So on that note, I shall see you all in the next one. Now it's time to do your job.